Hello, welcome to another exciting edition of the program Delta Scope on television, a weekly magazine program that plays host to economic, social and political stakeholders in the Delta State Development Project. My name is Onome Iyarowe. I welcome you on behalf of the producer and the production team. This week on the program, Delta Scope, we're playing host to a businessman, an administrator, grassroots politician, and one of the founding fathers of People's Democratic Party, PDP, Delta State. Chief Ighoyota Amori is our guest. When the crew of Delta Scope met with Chief Ighoyota Amori, so much we brought back from him, talking about his experience in the world of politics, how he started his political career, and exactly where he is in the political space of Delta State. This we brought back will interest you.
Odidi Madi of Africa. Thank you for coming around, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, on behalf of everybody, let me just appreciate your efforts in the political terrain. You've done some wonderfully so well. You've been selfless, I think. We all know that. But let's go back to when you're younger. I'm talking about 1979, when you graduated as a student from Uniben, a BSc geology. You went further to do your master's in Ibadan, having a master's in geophysics, and that makes you a geologist. Have you practiced?
Well, first let me thank you for all the appellations. You refer to me as a juggernaut, political juggernaut. Well, I don't know. I don't have a way of mirroring myself, but I have been practicing politics for a very long time. And I'm excited. I'm still very, very active in politics. I'm going to be in politics. It's the only farm I know right now. But first, as a geologist, that is my life profession. When I graduated in '79, and of course did my youth service in the then Cross River State, which is Akwa Ibom and Cross River right now. I left from there. I went to University of Ibadan to read geophysics, which is a specialized area in geology. And I left University of Ibadan 1980-81, and of course, immediately I was engaged by a company, Kanak Nigeria Limited, based in Port Harcourt. We're prospecting for water. Which is my real profession as a geologist. Prospecting for water not just in Port Harcourt, but in the entire country. Eventually, and I actually carried geophysical survey, square exploration in so many states in the country. Then we had 19 states from then Cross River up to Kano. Abuja was just coming up then. Abuja, Kano, Delta, name it, so many other states. In fact, I think we were 12 states then. 12 states, not even 12 states. It was 12 states. I will cover a lot of part of Nigeria. So I practiced the profession for a very long time. It was in the process of carrying out geophysical survey in Jabi, in Abuja, that Polosa, Colonel Paul Ogbebo, saw me and engaged us to come and carry a geophysical survey for him in his quarry. From there, he signed me to leave Kanak to come and join in Benin, in Polosa. Polosa was just being established at that time. So from 1982 to 1984, I was with Kanak and I left Kanak to become the general manager. No, first of all, as a manager in Polusa Nigeria Limited in Benin, which specialized only in my own department was for prospering for water, which we did very, very well. Won award in Polusa, very hard-working person. For the first time, the Polusa himself has to organize an award for me because I brought a lot of prospect to the company, sincerely speaking, because I was very, very active. And after that, by 1986 or so, I established my own company, the Amori Nigeria Limited.
Okay, so let me go back to your political history. I mean, some of us don't know. I mean, we just hear of Ighoyota Amori. Some of us don't know where the political blood started with you. I mean, from while you were in school, you were an assistant secretary of National Union of Nigerian Students. Then also you were the Secretary General of SUG, University of Benin, and also the president of the Journalist Student Association. So the blood has been there for a while, for a long time. Would you say that this is where you cut your teeth as a politician?
Well, I think I really don't know how it started, but I believe that there's politics in my DNA. Yeah, that is true because even before Uniben, as a student in the then Academic Grammar School, Saple, I was very, very active. Though not politics, you call it then, but in the leadership. I was a prefect all through. I was also a house master. Yes, a house master. Then of our house. I became the house master for our house as a student. So you see, that is the builder of probably the politics in me. But I didn't call it politics because there was no politics per se that time. There was no partisan politics because we were under the military then. Leadership. Yes, leadership. But the training, I believe that is the beginning of the training. And when I left there, Academic Grammar School, Saple, now Okutebo Grammar School, and I went to the university. In 1974, University of Benin, I was the test set of the university, because the university actually started in 1971, and we were the test set. Somehow I became active in, first in robopolitics. Yes, we used to have Robo Student Association. First of all, Coco Eniofo, from there to Robo Student Association, Uniben chapter. I was very active. I was once their secretary and played a very active role. So somehow I believe that it is in my blood. It is in my DNA. But when a time came for the student unionism, somehow, I don't know, I found myself very much involved. It's not a matter of joining. I was just there from the very beginning. And well, then in the university, we all know ourselves. And somehow, I started as assistant secretary of the Students' Union with Olori Magege as the president, Dr. General of Ajin. Yeah, yes, he was the secretary general then. Eventually, 7 of us. Then, of course, it was Bender, but 7 of us from the data part of Bender were in the executive, with Olori Magege as the president, just like that. And I was very, very active. Eventually, one of Agere, in fact, the history is long. Yeah. Our activeness in the union, we also contested for position in the then National Union of Nigerian Students, NUNS, National Union of Nigerian Students, with Olori Magege, who was the president of the Students' Union in Uniben, as the vice president of NUNS, and I became the assistant secretary of NUNS. Only 2 of us from Uniben, which is a feat to have two people from one university in the entire student body of the country. Yes.
When you say that, I think I agree with you when you say there's politics in your DNA. Once somebody wrote that Amori is politics. Politics Amori. And when I look at that statement, I go back to your days where in the days of zero politics.
Hi, welcome to my new Delta. This past 4 years has been so amazing with Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa as governor. Lots of entrepreneurial and wealth opportunities has been created in the state. Infrastructural developments in all sectors. Over 200 roads have been completed, highways and urban roads. Primary health care has greatly been improved upon. Now you can get health support with ease. Even the educational sector was not left behind. It has received tremendous boost. The state has now become a sport destination. This past 4 years has been so amazing in Delta State. Who knows what the next 4 years will look like? Come with me. Let's create a stronger Delta with Senator Dr. Arthur Ifeanyi Okowa, my governor.
So let's go back. That season, that era, let's look at the politicking there and now. Is there any change in politicking? You know, from 0 parties to 2 parties to now we have over 60.
You see, I can spend the whole of today on those chapters. But one thing I would say, it has been a success story. Quite frankly, it has been a success story. From 1986, when the military gave signs that, they are returning the country to civilian rule. Of course, political parties, not political parties, okay, let me say 0 party or summer, were allowed to go and contest election. And of course, I contested as a councillor in the then Etiop local government, which comprised of Etiop West and Etiop East now, and of the then Bende State, with the headquarters of the local government at Isiokoro, and who were living in Benin, because I will come to that, because we were still under Bende. Benin remains the headquarters. Yeah, so we operated from Benin. And I became a councillor, and I contested, even from a disadvantaged position. Because if you look, I'm from Mosoga, the present local government, the present Etiop West, or the then Etiop, were one of the smallest clan. So nobody actually gave me a chance. Even in my ward, the ward 6 then, my own part of the ward, the Mosoga part of the ward, is 1/3 of the entire ward. So it is almost, of course there were no precedents, it's almost impossible for somebody from my area to contest against somebody from the majority area, which is the Jesse area, that has 2/3 of the ward to win as a councillor. That aside, there were too much politics. I was contesting against somebody from Jesse, which has 2/3 of the ward. Now, when I say too much politics, the Jesse people then sponsor somebody again from Mosoga against me. So it's 2 to 1.
So it's like the opposition now sponsoring.
Yeah, they did. Yes, 2 to 1. And they came with just one candidate and produced 2 candidates from my place. But the good thing is that my own mother too is from Jesse. So it's disadvantage to me in terms of population, but in terms of general acceptability, I think I had the advantage. Particularly when I know my position. Then I already had a master's degree. And those I was contesting with, they don't belong to the same class. And I was far, far younger among the 3 of us contesting. Of course, politics is more for the youth. So all I did was to recruit, take advantage of my age, take advantage of my education, and take advantage also that I belong to the 2 sides. I belong to Mosoga, I belong to Jesse. And of course, recruited more of the youth who said, it is not, if it's not me, then nobody will go. And when the result came, it was overwhelming. It was 80 to be, 20 shared. The one who contested against me, who was then the president of Moscow Development Union, popular, very popular person. There's no doubt about it. But age was not on his side. And I won. And after winning, I was now appointed the Supervisory Councillor for Education, which is an equivalent of Commissioner for Education at the local level. The word then were very big. It's not the word you have now. The whole of Moscow, Jeseya, and Ogara, just 4 words. So very big, which is now 20 words. It's now 20 words. So appointed Councillor of Education with late Omono there as the chairman of the council. And from there, quite honestly, there were things I didn't even know of myself. And I became an achiever.
What are the things you discovered about yourself?
One, I don't want to praise myself.
No, sir, you don't praise yourself.
Yes. But
I want to learn.
Yeah.
We want to learn from you.
Now, the late Omono there, who was the chairman of the council, is from Jesse. And we both live in Benin. He was retired civil servant. Both live in Benin. And then the councils were controlled from the ministry. So the ministry that controls the council. Any project you want to do is approval from the ministry. But somehow, I became too known to the people in the ministry. So anything I wanted, I got it done. I'm out there in a way. Allowed me to drive the process, drive so many things. And all of a sudden, I started seeing myself as an achiever. It's like, just seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. So many things were added unto me.
Don't let me realize it. God got you specially for me, baby. And even you know it. My love for you is so real, yeah, not even maybe. Oh yeah, you are the captain of my ship. Baby, when you a shower me, I love to peep. All the promises, yes, me I keep. The ringing on your finger, my love is not cheap. Oh yeah.
If you look at the politics you played then, in the 80s, but these are the 80s and early 90s, and now, what is the difference? I mean, you are a political rooted man.
Well, things, of course, they ought to be different because the world is dynamic. You do not expect the politics we played probably in the 80s to still be the politics. In fact, if it's still the same politics, then we are not progressing at all. Things have completely changed. Well, it depends on the individual. For me, I have benefited so much from politics. My community have benefited from politics. So those who have not benefited one or the other, not in terms of finance, but in terms of development. I will come to that. We have benefited.
No, I'm talking about the practice of politics. The
Yes.
politics in the practice of
It has changed for the better. Somehow it has changed for the better because the system then is quite different from what we are experiencing right now. And that time, it was under the military. Now we are in democracy, where we have a say. In the military, it's a different thing. It depends on, it's more of a man no man. And everything is under the control of the military, which is quite different now. We no longer take dictation from the military. It's democracy. Your vote counts. So what you contribute to the coffer matters a lot. And from my place, we have always contributed. From that time, we'll be contributing. And it's like to whom much is given, much is expected. So we've always benefited.
you started, sir. You started as a Republican, but now you're a Democrat. At what point did you switch?
You see, the politics of this country, really. You see, if you see the way people vacillate, it just depends on you. Whatever name you call yourself. Yeah, whatever name you call yourself. If not, somebody says today, it depends on the party you belong to. If you style yourself a progressive, you are a progressive. If you style yourself whether progressive or the other one is we are Democrats. These are just semantics. They are just semantics. They are not. Depends on the divide you find yourself. That's why you see people moving. Those who call themselves progressive today, tomorrow, they are on the other side, just like that. So it depends on where you are comfortable, and you just give yourself a name.
Okay. And you fly with it.
You fly with it. That's all.
So amazing. Chief Ighoyota Amori there. One man, many parts of him we have seen and heard about in this week's package of the program Delta Scope. So long as he remains a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Delta State, there is so much more he has to offer. And like he said, he so much believes in the state governor, His Excellency Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa, and is ready to give his all to make sure that he succeeds in taking Delta State to a stronger and greater height. And so you too can join in building a greater and stronger Delta State. Well, for your comments, observations, and contributions, use our various social media platforms as displayed on your screen. All right, this is where we wrap it up on this week's edition of the program Delta Scope. Do join us again next week for a fresh edition. On behalf of the producer and the production team, I am Onome Iyarowe, your host. We'll see you again next week.